yeah, can you have an indicator running on a different instrument, and using it on whatever chart you're running? So I have, the NASDAQ futures up here. So let's say you wanted to use an indicator that's running on the ES, futures, or in Dean's example, he's running. All right, so BloodHound would be running on the oil contract, and you would want to analyze an indicator running on a stock such as ExxonMobil or Chevron, maybe, or maybe Halliburton or something like that. That is what the chart, does. So when you add a chart to BloodHound, it's called a chart, versus a time frame, because you can literally introduce a different chart here. So I could go and set an instrument. So I can go and select the ES instrument, right? So if BloodHound's running on the NQ instrument, but then I pull in an ES 1 minute chart, right? So this is not an ES 1 minute time frame. It just went from a 1 minute time frame to now becoming an ES chart. That's how you can pull in different chart data. But the thing you got to keep in mind is that the indicator, it's not just the indicator running on the ES chart now, it's the entire solver. So let's say we wanted to use a comparison solver on this, right? So both input A and input B are both using the ES chart, right? So if I compare, let's say I compare price to the SMA. Well, this closing price is the closing price of the ES 1 minute chart. And this SMA, this is the SMA 14 of that ES 1 minute chart. So you can't mix and match. You can't say, well, I want input A, to be my default time frame, and then I want input B to be my ES chart. All right. So if you wanted to mix and match different charts and or time frames from input A and input B, then that requires a customized indicator. So you would have to have a customized SMA that specifically that was built to specifically run on the ES, whatever chart you wanted from the ES. So and then so basically your customized indicator would pull up what other instrument that you want your indicator to run on. And so BloodHound, so with BloodHound, you wouldn't need this other chart. You wouldn't need that other chart. So for example, you want input A to be the default time frame, but you want your indicator to run on the ES chart, right? So you're mixing and matching different instruments from input A to input B. That's when your indicator actually has to load up and run on whatever different instrument you want it to run on. So just keep that in mind. When you add a chart, the entire solver runs on that chart, not just input A or input B. The entire solver does. So just keep that in mind. This information is all available, to you guys in our documentation here. So if I pull up the documentation page, and let's see here. So under the BloodHound section, let's see, BloodHound overview. Let's see. I'm not seeing it in there. It's in here somewhere. Oh, duh, right there. There you go. Multiple time frames. There's a whole page dedicated to it. So there we go. All right. Yeah. So there you go. That kind of explains how, the multiple time frames or charts, how it works there. Yeah. There you go. A little chart button right there. So, and oh yeah. Also remember, guys, when you're adding, other charts or time frames to BloodHound, that Ninja does require, a reload of the chart, so that Ninja can then create that data, that secondary time frame or instrument that BloodHound's requesting. So yeah, just keep in mind you do need to do a reload whenever you add or remove, a secondary chart, or time frame to the BloodHound system. Let's see. No, the answer to that question, Brady, is no. Yeah, that introduces a whole new level of complexity, which I'm sure at some point, yeah, we'll get around to addressing that. And our, the BloodHound 2.0 that we're currently working on sets up the proper framework within BloodHound. Right? So, again, BloodHound has been almost completely rebuilt from the ground up, to incorporate some of these changes, for BloodHound 2.0. And, yeah, so with those new changes, to how the BloodHound software was redesigned, now also would allow us to specify whether a function node is, or to specify which chart a function node is running on. Yeah. So what Brady's asking here is actually, let me reverse it here. There. Yeah. All right. So we have the default time frame, which is the 1 minute chart here, right? The NQ 1 minute is the default time frame. And then we also have a 10 range time frame here. And let's see, what should I create? Yeah, let's see. Let's add a crossover solver here. And let's go to the logic board. If I go to existing nodes and then to my 10 range time frame, there's my crossover solver, right? So what Brady's asking is when you use, say, like a look back node, or maybe a signal extender or a signal counter, even a signal blocker, right? These all, these four nodes, basically have some kind of bar counting mechanism, right? Where they're counting bars. Obviously, the signal extender, is extending a signal forward X number of bars. And the look back would be looking back X number of bars, right? But, this solver is receiving its data from the 10 range chart. So what Brady's asking is, can we put the look back on the 10 range chart so that the look back, let's say we needed to look back 10 bars, that it would be looking back on 10 bars on the 10 range chart, not the 1 minute chart. And so not currently. So basically all function nodes, they all operate on the default time frame. Yeah. So this look back, when you're looking back 10 bars, it's looking back 10 bars on the 1 minute chart. So it's going to be 10 1-minute bars that it's looking back on, not 10 bars on the 10 range chart, not the 10 range chart. So, confident that, sometime in the distant future we'll, incorporate the ability to select which time frame or chart you want function nodes to run on. So